What the hell is up, ladies and gentlemen? We've got Checkstealer on the menu. This is Flashback Friday, where we go back to some point in the maybe not super distant past, but somewhat enough in the past to the point where the game has changed a lot. It's an older game. It's not really valid because of meta or because of balance patches or whatever, and yet still, we have these replays. We might as well cast them. That's the kind of vibe we're going for here. I'm sure this kind of thing will happen every week on Friday. I think once per week we can get through a bunch of replays that fit the bill and also get into some interesting matches that get played maybe now, but I don't cast them in the right time frame or whatever as we're getting more and more activity. Obviously, that means that there's going to be replays that go by the wayside. This one was such a replay. It was done during the Tyrant's Tail meta, so this is before the resource changes that happened semi-recently. So watch at your own peril. It might be a little bit confusing, but we do have Checkstealer, so at least there's that. We've got Ramen in the top left here, as I'm guessing the Platinum Tyrant, indeed. And then HitEmUp here in the top right. And he is being implored to not leave. I'm guessing he's the Ultramarine Protoss. There it is. All right. So we have horizontal spawns here, and we'll see how those ones end up happening. I am pretty excited about this game. I've been told that interesting things are afoot in this match. It apparently features an updated couple of units that got changed before the whole economy change happened. So there's going to be some parts of it that maybe stick out as like, oh, that's interesting. That's current. That's unique, or at least something that I can play with. But the resource node count here is talking about having 8 instead of 7 in your mains, and yeah, I guess HitEmUp is referencing the Cyclops change with that comment, but he's obviously absolutely smashing people with Cyclops. Checkstealer is the map that has a neutral circuit. It's not going to feature in this because, obviously, we've got Zerg here, but not actually in this replay. So, just one of those things. Of course, Quarry first, back in the day, a classic move. And I'm interested in seeing where that all goes. Yeah, one of the thing that HitEmUp was mentioning when we were first doing all of those. Oh my God, Mr. Cakes is in here as a spectator. One of the things that HitEmUp was referencing at one point is that like he likes the worker spam meta. He's a fan of that, or at least he was. I think he might be happy with the current situation as well, or at least like he's happy to play. He's continued to play. Oh my God, the Manor Pylon to block a Mason. That one's not nearly as effective, I think, but still. It might be blocking access to this mineral patch here, so maybe it is effective. I can't believe he's doing this. What a lunatic. What a man. Yeah, he's gonna wall himself in and turn this into a cannon rush. Now, if Ramen remembers how to deal with this from StarCraft 1, you can just go ahead and start jumping workers back there to block the mining, and that's exactly what he managed to do with one Mason. There is a Warden still gonna go down, but the Scribe is not going to escape this position, so it is going to be kaput. And soon the mining will indeed be there. Now, the Warden will finish, but the Vulture's coming out sooner. So I think Ramen can actually just go back to harvesting right now. Back on the other side of the base, he did scout that the gateway is here. Obviously, that delayed a lot of what HitEmUp has been doing. So it's very, very funny situations there. Vulture's not going to come out and finish the Warden off, force a cancel of it before it can finish and do anything significant in terms of damage. The one Mason is returning as well, so a little bit of boost to the economy. Yeah, okay, he cancels it at the last second. Now the Masons can get back to harvesting. And of course the pylon is... oh, it's actually just going to be left there. I mean, I would also leave it there myself. I'd be thinking about maybe trying to go across the map and do some damage. There's only one Ecclesiast. You don't know what he's got back at home. But instead, Ramen is actually going to finish off attacking the pylon. I feel like this is kind of a mistake, personally. But, I'm not the semi-finalist, or sorry, the grand finalist, the second placer in Tyrant's Tail. That is TopRamen. And of course, HitEmUp here is the grand finalist. He's the victor. He's the man, the myth, the legend. And he is going to probably, he does whatever he wants and wins. So I feel like he can surely waste all of the time that he did there with the pylons and the Warden. And it did force some interesting reactions. Like Ramen definitely had too many workers not harvesting for that period of time. So it did hurt him a little bit. So there was something that went down there, but somehow HitEmUp has this effect on people where he goes and he plays and he does his thing, and then he just hangs out. And he's like, yeah, I just win now. And so I'm sure that's going to happen in this game. I can't imagine how it wouldn't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe TopRamen will take a dub. Maybe he'll take a dub. We got the embassy coming in here for additional worker production for HitEmUp again. Remember that on this patch, quarries make masons, embassies make scribes. That's not the case in the current patch. So there we go. Watchdog for scouting, and the Ministry on the way here as an expansion, faster than his opponent. Ramen up 6 workers. I mean, this is what you expect from the Terran at this point, is because they've gone Quarry first. They get a pretty big worker advantage here. But HitEmUp has dealt with this before. He's going to go Grand Library. I'm guessing it'll be, yep, a Cantavis. So the embassy's going to finish, and it might first make an Envoy, and he's going to go for a Storm drop. I think this is before we changed Storm. So I'll be able to figure it out if the storm actually goes off. I'll tell you guys, oh, is that the new storm or is that the old one? But the new one is pretty cool. You can go through and just change its location, you know, move it around or whatever. Watchdog moving around. Speaking of, trying to wiggle its way into a situation where it can scout stuff. The Drakidans, I don't think they would have killed it in time to stop it from scouting the Grand Library. But even so, Ramen might lose it now. Yeah, I think now he's going to lose it without being able to scout the Grand Library. He just wants to see if there's an expansion. And I guess he will see that. He'll see that the scribe was sitting there, but there was no expo. So Ramen now has that information. He knows that it's probably some kind of tech play to follow up, because otherwise there would be an expansion, right? So, yeah, I mean, as of right now, we're seeing an Atreus, because buff Atreus. I just tried to take a drink of something, and I didn't even take the lid off, so... We're popping off here, boys. We're off the chain. Here comes the Cantavis to psionically storm 1 Mason. JK, it's going to fly over that. Vultures are going to swing into action here. I think in this position... I don't even know if you would pull the workers, to be honest. Yeah, fuck that Ministry. I don't even know if you pull the workers, to be honest. I think the Vultures kill the Cantavis before it can really do any damage. This is ridiculous! I can't believe what I'm witnessing here. Yeah. Okay, it is the old storm. It has the channel time. Like, that means it locks it down for about 10 seconds. It might kill the Vulture. No, not quite. And so, obviously, like, the new one deals a bit more damage. It's much snappier as well. But, yeah, this is a little bit absurd. Apparently, Ramen decided not to make any anti-air, except for the one Watchdog he laid out over there. There's another Storm. It's going to do some damage, softening up those Masons. They are going to go and relocate. Effectively, Ramen has, like, 2 workers right now, and they're all on gas. That's pretty absurd, honestly. Any anti-air, buddy? No, he has no money. He's building more stockades, but... Oh, my God. You can't make this stuff up. I am impressed, honestly. I am very impressed. All right, so now he's going to go down here to the lower base. Behind this, he is making a Nexus, and he's already expanded towards the other location as well. Watchdog's now finally going down to deny this. We got some Mavericks out. At least they can do some pressure onto the Envoy. They were already softened. The Mavericks decided to go the long way around. This is the most ridiculous ring around the rosy silliness that I've seen in a long time. But at least the Envoy will be sort of zoned out. Not really, though. Yeah, you gotta pull those boys. Yeah. I think they're fine. Yeah, they're on the edge. They're, living on the edge, living on the edge. That's not even how that song goes, but that's what I thought of. Nexus about halfway done at the 3rd base there for HitEmUp. Remember that these bases have the same amount of minerals, but only a geyser, no ridge. So a little bit less on the gas yield. I think I'm going to end up changing it to be faster depletion, just like the StarCraft 1 version of this map, which is called Kickback. If you guys didn't know, it's a port of a StarCraft 1 map. It does look a little bit different because we have a bunch of custom tiles that we've done and made use of and stuff. So I do like to pretty up the maps if possible to make it really distinctively look like, oh, this is a Cosmonarchy map, right? We obviously have these weird abominations of ramps. Eventually we'll get some ones that are actually left-right and look better than the remastered ones. Because the remastered ones were not really great. He's actually going to lose the Envoy there. That's a little unfortunate. He gets one last Storm to deny more mining, but at this point, HitEmUp has more workers. Oh my God, he's trying to... I thought he was trying to commit seppuku with the fucking Cantavis. What the hell? Cut that out. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, bully him. Get him. Kick his ass. Workers unite. Workers of the world unite. Get him. Fuck him up. Absolute heraldry and disaster. This is... Oh my God, he got executed by the hit squad at the last second. Dude, that was the Masons killed. That Mason did 85 damage, dude. Tell me that. You got double Grand Library now pumping out nothing but Atreus. I think he knows at this point it's a bio read. Obviously, he did fly over 3 stockades being made. This is in the heat of the Eidolon, is before they lost some DPS. Now everybody, and by everybody I mean Shopkeeper Dog, thinks that they're a fake unit. I've seen people use them pretty well, actually, still, so I guess they can't be too bad. But, we'll still see. And the Fulcrum is just hanging out over here. So, Ramen likes to float the Fulcrum, and then he'll put it in your base and make Cyclops and try to kill your workers. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't know if that's something that he'll do in this game, and the bases here don't really allow for that. They're very tight. But still, I do like that. Ramen is keeping relative composure of the map. Despite his antics earlier, or silly things that happened earlier, he's doing okay. He's making things happen. He's going to have to pull that Fulcrum back out of the range of the Warden. You can see here, you can preview the range. He can't do that because... oh, no, I think maybe he can. I think if you can see the weapon, you can, but I'm not 100% sure. It might only work on allied units. Atlas now coming down, so Tier 2 nearly complete. Vulture going to go ahead and reveal that it's Atreus's. It's Atreus's out the wazoo. I don't know if he actually looked at that, to be fair, but... his Fulcrum will fly over that. Hi. A lot of Grand Libraries. It's mass Atreus with a Crucible to empower them and everything. Impressive. Well, meanwhile, back at home, ignoring the fact that he just lost his Fulcrum. Who needs it? Switching into Pure Covenant. I will say, Ramen posted this game, like... that there's like that famous X.com account, dudes posting their Ws. Ramen posted this. Like, it's him posting it. So maybe he does win. And, like, the absolute clownery that we've seen so far is just a, tip of the iceberg kind of thing. And we're about to get real focused on some real silly shit. I don't know. It's not yet clear to me. Capping the gas, okay. Adding more static defense. No fourth base coming for either player as of right now. Just trying to power on the resources that they do have. Atlas now complete, so Ramen can decide to cap his gas if he wants, but he's going to go straight into captaincies. Looks like 3 of them right now. He has enough money for more, but we'll see if he wants to do that. No, he's actually going to go ahead and put down a treasury at 9 o'clock. Continuing to monitor these positions so far. A witness will make its way across, actually 2 of them. So I think what HitEmUp is going to do is he's going to scout 9 o'clock, see that it's being set up, and try to make a play to break that so that he remains even on bases. But I could be wrong about that because his unit comp is Amaranth Atreus. Like there's no Cantavis, there's a couple Dracodons within. I would love to see a couple Cantavis be brought in because Storm will definitely help soften up like the Huracan stack. There's no healing here whatsoever for Ramen. He might go for like Apostles to try to pseudo-heal his army, force multiply it. But, yeah, the Witness is going to be able to reveal stuff. There's no Shaman to detect, no Ant Seal, no Star Pad at all. So you got no Vestry, no Star Pad. There's no detection whatsoever here for Ramen. He's got, of the 3 units he could make to detect, he doesn't have access to any of the tools. Vulture going to go ahead and hold position to stop that Scribe from being able to put down a base. So, there's a little bit of timing over here in favor of Ramen as far as setting that up. But that Vulture is going to get absolutely shellacked, and we have the Ancestral Archives coming. Ramen obviously now should be aware that the Witness is there, but he's looking at his other base, so not quite fully paying attention to the army move out. We have a couple of Madcaps being strewn out as well. The Lodestone's going to finish and reveal this Witness, but a bunch of Amaranths have been pinched off to attack that. That will force Ramen to make a decision as to does he want to allow that base to seed that ground, lift the base, and what's he want to do there, right? He's going to go ahead and try to self-destruct the Lodestone. He needs to double tap it so that it actually blows up, otherwise it's just going to... Yeah, okay. No, never mind. Not quite fast enough there. HitEmUp was still a hair faster. Now I'm going to go ahead and pressure this base as well. So they've traded bases, or basically. Oh, I think this Vulture is actually on the case. He's going to reveal this base, and I'm going to see what HitEmUp wants to do about that. Obviously, as long as he kills the Scribe, he can eventually take out the Nexus with the 1 Vulture. It's going to take a while. First engagement, not going so well for TopRamen. He's kind of fighting around this block, and he doesn't really want to be able to do that. He needs his Huracans to be able to make things happen. But the Amaranths have somewhat been managed. Waiting for another Ancestral Archives to finish, or is that the same one? It's the same one, still not done yet. HitEmUp still waiting for that one. He's got his Witnesses for revealing. Now, his Atreuses are still doing a lot of damage to the front line, but he doesn't really have any front line to, absorb the pressure of the Eidolons. He does not want to get firing squatted at this point, so let's see what he can do. He's got many more Amaranths coming out, and an Optecton is on the way, about halfway complete. That was fast, thanks to that Crucible really speeding things along. People don't really make Crucibles that often on the current patch, and they didn't get changed, so it would stand to reason that they might want to do that. Now the Eidolon stack is about to fall. That's going to be a huge cut to the DPS. We need to see these Amaranths get brought down. Madcaps will try to help with that a little bit. But the Eidolons being so low in number now means that the Optectons can really start to shine. Let's see what he can do there. Picking off the Atreus's. Trying to fire. Yeah, you can see the splash radius just absolutely splattering so many of those Eidolons. Meanwhile, a single Hurakan was excised from this place by Amaranths. Sentinels have been erected at 9 o'clock to hold that. Okay, well, you know what? The Nexus ended up getting canceled or killed, so I'm going to guess canceled based on how low the DPS of the Vulture actually is. So I don't know about that one. But that means that this Vulture did stop the expansions from going down. And look at this. This Treasury is going to have to get canceled as well. But look, the Sentinels are up here. Ramen now with a base in advantage. Does he have the tech advantage now with the Optectons coming out? I'm not so sure. We don't see him going for star pads. He hasn't capped his gas despite an excess of minerals. So these are things that he might want to think about doing so that he can maintain some element of parity so far. He does have a decent amount of units, but it feels like he needs more than that. And also, he still hasn't cleared out this witness. So, you know, he's very much not somebody who has any detection. Apostles are coming. We'll see what they can make happen. If, for those who don't know, Apostles reanimate corpses near them when they fire. So every time they attack, they reanimate one corpse nearby. And that reanimation stuns the unit during the process. Oh my god, you can see if you give them a chance to target, they can actually do a lot of extra splash damage to the Optectons. We might not even need to talk about the Apostles at this point, because the Heracles are slowing down the Amaranths and stuff. The Hurakan's obviously rending their armor. But you want to preserve your front line as long as possible, no matter who you are in this fight. And HitEmUp is just A-moving, so you can absolutely have like wiped out his Amaranths and then fallen back. But it doesn't look like that's what Rama wants to do. He needs to set himself up with an arc or something. These Hurakans need to get to the front line. Well, instead the Amaranths are going to actually async from the rest of the force. Now we don't really have any front line to speak of whatsoever. Distance mining from 6 o'clock, an interesting proposition there. The only area that HitEmUp's units haven't been. He's now distance mining from 3 o'clock, so he's kind of still echoing that, right? Still down a base. Eidolons in a good number still. Now we can see those Apostles actually wreak havoc, I would say. Looking to see those for sure. Depletion starting to hit. This is old depletion, so it doesn't actually have a significant hit on the income. Like you go from 5 return, or no, I think it's just, yeah, it's just 4 minerals per return to 3. So that obviously means that your base is still mostly, you know, significant. That will allow specifically HitEmUp to stay in the game, as he's just about to hit depletion on the resources in the sort of southern base, the one he took as his natural. So he's actually going to be at 2 depleted bases, whereas all of the mining, dancing shenanigans that happened in the early game that I need to remind you did happen in this game. Oh my god, the splash damage. The Heracles definitely helping out there as the witnesses flew over, but there's still one staying alive, and that's really all you need to make sure that you reveal those Eidolons so that you can get good targeting. Let's see what he can do here. He's mostly killed the stuff in the bottom right. Still a couple of frontline units here, but yeah, I think Ramen really needs to sync up with the rest of his force, and he's withdrawing all of them. When you withdraw your units, they really do not do a great job at withdrawing by themselves. You need to kind of babysit them a little bit. And that was not the right move. So he ends up losing his Apostles. I'm not sure if he has any more left in the fight. It doesn't look like he does. He's going to need to reinvest in those. And he has capped his gas in the main, not in the natural third. He has done it at 9 o'clock. And of course, he's got 6 o'clock now saturated. So, you know, he's up by 2 bases, although that's turning into 1 base now that HitEmUp is setting up everything over here. HitEmUp, set him up. You know what I'm saying? He can also try to take bottom left. And look at this, the Scribe once again going to get bullied in a corner by this Vulture, and that Nexus is going to have to be enforced this time around. I don't think it's an option for HitEmUp to lose that one. He doesn't really have the flexibility of tech. He's still only on 1 Ancestral. At this point, oh no, he's got a second one all the way up in there with a Crucible. He can start to filter in other units. He doesn't really want to lose out on the Optecton throughput if he can help it, but he is getting up to a massive number, and that has not been focused by TopRamen, right? Most of the time he's focusing down, you know, the frontline units. Now he finally has a clear shot using the Hurakans and the Heracles to try to absorb those Optecton hits, but still there's 4 of them still alive. One of them trying to get focused down once again. Good targeting from HitEmUp to actually hit the backline there. It looks like this force might still get cleaned up, though. That Heracles positioning really helping out there at the end, and yeah, look at that. The Optecton is toast. And the Nexus doesn't actually go up. Well, suddenly it feels like maybe HitEmUp is on his last legs. I mean, He's not got the throughput on the resources to really make a lot of units. There you go. He's going to make 2 more Optectons. I mean, getting the second Ancestral is a huge deal, but not being able to get up to a 5th base when you're at depletion at 2 bases, so you can't mineral spam quite as much. Your opponent has Eidolons, they can depower your Wardens and stuff. Like, this is looking really ugly. But, hey, let's see what this engagement looks like. He's got the Patriarchs, he's got the Amaranths. This is like a permanence comp, you know what I mean? It's like stay alive forever type of composition, but it's not going to end up happening because of the timing and the area that HitEmUp actually engaged in there. And, of course, the fact that he's just down resources, so he doesn't have the same level that he would need. Maybe if he hits that with 3 Optectons and he still has a lot of Amaranths, that would be different. If he wants to fight, he should fight while they're engaging the static defense. That much is for sure. The front line now no longer, like, in the right spot, basically, although they're kind of getting Brood War pathinged over here, if that's a verb I can use. Getting a little dizzy, mate, as the Heracles, again, absorbing so much punishment from those Optectons and the Patriarchs. The Amaranths are gone, but I don't think that, I mean, you got to watch out because the Patriarchs are definitely going to help out the shield skill. You can't really withdraw with the Optectons. You need to stand and fight with them, HitEmUp. There you go. He's realizing, okay, I can... No, never mind. He's not realizing it. He's trying to take the retreating path. You know what? Losing only 1 Optecton is actually better than I thought he would do. Ramen not able to jump on that quite as much as maybe our Terran player wanted to here. I would love to see some, you know, servitors or vassals or ecclesiasts with this army, because when they die, they speed up the rest of the forces. You could really use that to withdraw a little bit better and also engage a little bit better. Now, once again, 3 o'clock being contested. I think this is the kind of the linchpin of the whole map. This is the hinge fight. You know, this is what the whole fate of the match actually hinges on. Is Ramen actually posting his W's? Oh no, a stolen Patriarch. I mean, it's not very useful for Terran. He doesn't have any shields, but... Like, the Terran units don't have shields, so it's not very helpful there. But, you know, I guess if he steals a lot of units, it might... Oh my god, the shellacking. Yeah, look, the Optecton count is getting really high. Still, a couple of more units are continuing to do stuff there. The Scribes were thought about being pulled, but they're kind of going to just get annihilated, I think. I mean, the workers are not really the main target. You want to get after that Nexus if you can. That's not what TopRamen is focusing on, though. He's going to try to break the ramp. There's 7 Optectons here, my man. I think you're going to need to reconsider this angle of attack and maybe a different option for tech. There you go. He's going to pop a single Optecton. But look, I mean, another one is coming on down to replace the one that just died. Oh my god, he even takes the stolen Patriarch with him. See ya. Well, at least 9 o'clock, or sorry, 3 o'clock can actually be destroyed. Bottom right has been taken, but mostly just for Vespine. And yeah, at this point, it looks like TopRamen is still running away with the game in terms of positioning and in terms of expansions. But goddamn, do we have a banger on our hands with nothing but Optectons right now. He needs to focus their fire at the right angle, and he definitely needs to get Amaranths down. They can go underneath the Optecton because it only collides with other big units, so there is that at least. Oh no, the Heracles are loose, splashing all of the Scribes. They can be remade and remaxed over there. But you definitely, again, this is a thing where all that DPS could have been focused on the Nexus. It would have been destroyed, and this base would not have been operable. Now, you know, he just transfers some workers from a depleted base or whatever, and he's able to reclaim everything. So I still think TopRamen could have done a little bit better on the target selection there, but overall, you gotta say, he's playing a good game. He's getting things going. He's not really thinking about teching out of his position. That's an interesting thing about Kickback and now Checkstealer in this version of the game. You have less Vespine, less resources overall. So yeah, how are you actually going to make a habit of building up the things like the... how are you going to go for something like tier 3 at this point? Like, you need to cap every gas, and you need to take more bases. 12 o'clock now up and running. So if you look at the complexion of the game, this base slowly coming back online for HitEmUp. Maybe not so slowly. He does have a lot of worker production queues, remember. And TopRamen is setting up the bottom right natural and third. So he's setting up that quadrant. He's going to be at, what? Once those 2 bases come online, he'll be at 4 down there and 5 up here in the top left. So 9 bases to 4 bases. I mean, yeah, you might be at a tech deficit given the fact that you're building tier 2 stuff exclusively, tier 1 and tier 2. But I still feel like this might work out just fine. He's got an Apostle loose in there, firing on the, really just soaking up so much of the damage. That's what the zombies are doing at this point. The reclaimed units are doing a lot of soaking up. However, there are still so many goddamn Optectons. The tech power of Protoss really helping HitEmUp out in this position. I gotta share some light on this guy. When this happened, right? When this replay was posted, TopRamen said, features new Optecton. And I didn't know he meant features 10 of them. You know, that's crazy stuff. Obviously, the Archon's also coming out. They're going to be a juicy front line as well. A reclaimed Eidolon trailing by and tickling. That was the least fortunate Eidolon I've ever seen in my life. Who would win? David versus Goliath. TopRamen losing 12 o'clock. Not a great side for him. Again, he's still kind of stuck on this same level of production, same level of tech power. He is adding 6 more captaincies elsewhere on the map, so maybe he can still win with power. And if he can catch the army kind of split, that can also help out a lot. But as of right now, it's not looking good. I think the power of HitEmUp's Protoss forces have not really been managed appropriately when it comes to the tech. And not killing that Nexus at 3 o'clock, I think it had, it had consequences. It also had consequences not managing the Optecton count specifically. That being said, that was a little bit harder for TopRamen to deal with. No air units, though. No Sundogs. I mean, remember, so the Archons hit air, but the Patriarchs hit air, and the Atreus hit air, right? But when you're talking about the Optectons and, of course, the Amaranths, those only shoot ground. So that definitely could have been an option there for TopRamen if he wanted to filter in some Sundogs to hunt down the armored targets or Gorgons to slow them down in the middle of retreats. These both would have been solid options, I think. And still useful versus some of the other units. You just need to occupy them with other things. Like now you're forcing your opponent to do different target selection, whereas right now, TopRamen is only fielding a ground comp, and it's a comp that the Optectons in particular will destroy, given enough time and opportunity. And look at that. That's enough time and opportunity. Despite being ahead by a number of bases, I think TopRamen's about to crumble at his front. He calls GG. He cannot breach the new Optecton line. I don't even know what to take as a screenshot for this game. What a ridiculous match. I was definitely going to do like the Cantavia Stormdrop stuff, but we actually got some pretty hype things going on in this match. Flashback Friday starts off with a banger. We'll see you guys next week for another game that's kind of like this in that it's old news in terms of the meta. But we'll also see you tomorrow for more Cosmonarchy. GG.